Hello everyone! Welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. What will Todd and Julie CHRISLEY's daily routine be like in prison? CHRISLEY Knows Best stars Todd and Julie CHRISLEY reported to federal prison to begin their lengthy sentences for bank fraud and tax evasion. Now that they are both behind bars, fans wonder what these reality television stars will be doing. What will their daily routine be like in prison? Keep reading to find out what is known. Todd and Julie CHRISLEY behind bars. In Touch Weekly shared all the details behind how Todd and Julie CHRISLEY will spend their days in prison. Their representative shared that the couple had reported to their respective prisons to begin their sentence. So, what will their days be like? Todd will be serving his sentence at FPC Pensacola, where he is expected to spend 12 years. His days will be filled with various duties, which could include working in the library, laundry, housekeeping, and even landscaping. Meals will be served at 11 a.m. and 4:30 p.m. each day. Following his day of work, he will be allowed to read, watch television, play games, and sometimes even enjoy a movie night. However, these fun times can only be enjoyed until a 10 p.m. lights out protocol. Since Todd isn't a violent criminal, he is being held in a minimum security facility. This means they have some freedoms that other prisons probably do not. The inmates are allowed to enjoy outdoor sports, such as softball, soccer, and even basketball. They also have gyms so they can maintain their physical fitness and also have a stress release option. Plus, Todd can also use his time to learn a skill or even further his academic knowledge. Visiting Todd won't be too difficult for his children. He is allowed up to 5 visitors at a time on the weekends. Julie was going to be spending her time in a Florida prison as well. However, that changed and she is at Federal Medical Center, FMC, Lexington in Lexington, Kentucky. She also has the opportunity to learn new things and participate in sports and other activities during her 7-year sentence. Visiting schedules are different than Todd's and depends which part of the prison Julie has been assigned. However, just like Todd's, she will be granted 5 visitors at a time. She will no doubt also be given tasks throughout the day, including the opportunity to work in the Federal Prison Industry's UNICOR program. Below is a creative speculative imagining of what Todd and Julie CHRISLEY's daily routine might look like in prison. This is entirely fictional and based on general knowledge about prison life. It is not based on private or verified insight into their particular circumstances. What will Todd and Julie CHRISLEY's daily routine be like in prison? Todd CHRISLEY, the brash patriarch of the CHRISLEY family, and his wife Julie, known for her razor-sharp wit and poise, are famous for living in the lap of luxury, but prison strips away many of those comforts. If convicted and serving time, their day-to-day life would change dramatically. This speculative account imagines a typical daily routine they might follow, and how their personalities could shape their experience. Dawn, waking up and head count. Lights on at 5:30 a.m. Their morning begins early. Most federal or state prisons enforce a strict wake-up time, often well before sunrise. Todd would likely detest being dragged out of bed in dim fluorescent lighting so early. Julie might try to make the most of it, viewing it as a chance for quiet time before the noise of the day. Roll call, head count. Within minutes of waking, there's head count. Guards call out names to make sure no one's missing. Todd might grumble about having to respond precisely, perhaps sarcastically commenting on how this isn't exactly his usual audience. Morning hygiene and uniform. A metal sink, cold water, a communal mirror. Toothbrush, shower if schedules allow, shaving. Uniforms, likely standard issue, replace the designer wear. Julie might try to maintain polish, neat hairstyle, clean uniform, while Todd, more used to bold fashion, may feel constrained but perhaps uses small personal touches, a watch, a specific pair of shoes if permitted, to assert some identity. Breakfast and the first slot of activities. Breakfast in the mess hall. Food in prison is functional. Eggs, grits or oatmeal, perhaps some fruit, and a cup of instant coffee. They'll sit among other inmates. Tables are long benches. Privacy minimal. Todd could find this frustrating, but also perhaps an opportunity. He might try to talk, negotiate for a nicer seat, engage with other inmates. Julie might observe, keeping her head down, perhaps quietly reading or sketching if allowed. Morning programs or work assignment. After breakfast, mandatory
Julie
programs.
might excel in
Classes or programs, possibly using her skills in budgeting, organization, to contribute or even assist others. Todd might prefer a work detail that allows some autonomy or leadership, if permitted, perhaps supervising or organizing others, or doing something more physical than paperwork. Midday, lunch and midday breaks. Lunch, another communal meal. Simpler fare, maybe meatloaf or a protein source, vegetables, bread. It's noisy. The cafeteria or mess hall is crowded. Todd might miss fine dining, but could find camaraderie with other inmates. Julie might be more reserved, observing social dynamics. Rest periods/recreation time. After lunch, there might be downtime. They could have an hour or more to rest, write letters, read, maybe call family, if phone privileges allow, or even take a nap in their cell. If the prison has a law library or reading room, Julie might retreat there. Todd might attempt to use writing or correspondence to manage public perception, maybe drafting statements or journaling. Afternoon, more work, programming, or recreation. Continued work or classes. The afternoon slot might include workshops, vocational training, plumbing, carpentry, cooking, self-improvement seminars, counseling, spiritual or religious services. Julie could find solace in faith-based programming or perhaps engage with prison ministry. Todd might bristle at some of the required counseling, but could also come to see utility. Learning negotiation, humility, leadership in a constrained environment. Physical recreation/yard time. Weather and security permitting, there is yard time. Fresh air, sunlight, perhaps basketball, walking laps, stretching. This is a relief from confinement. Todd might try to stay active, maybe play basketball or walk vigorously to blow off tension. Julie might prefer walking, sitting under shade, observing nature, perhaps sketching or praying. Late afternoon, return to cell, evening preparations. Return to cell and shower. After yard and work, inmates return to their cells. Shower time. Water is rationed and schedule regulated. Evening meal instructions posted. Lights might dim. They clean up, maybe write letters, talk quietly with cellmates if cellmates are allowed. Mail, phone calls, visits. If their family is permitted to visit, perhaps through a glass or brief contact, this could be a major part of the afternoon. Seeing loved ones, receiving news from the outside. Todd might be the type to make these moments big, emotional. Julie might focus on maintaining composure, listening, reassuring others. Evening, dinner, reflection, and lights out. Dinner, the final communal meal. Simpler, often coldish by the time everyone is served. Conversation is limited. Inmates might discuss the day, share concerns. Todd could use humor to lighten shadows, perhaps even lead conversations or tell stories. Julie may stay more reflective, aware of routines and seeking peace. Evening programs or free time. Sometimes there are evening religious services, group therapy, or meetings. Otherwise, free time in the cell. Reading, writing, praying, possibly watching television if the unit has one. They might use this to reflect. Julie perhaps on family, hope, spiritual solace. Todd perhaps on mistakes, regrets, or strategizing. Lights out, 9:30–10 o'clock p.m. Strict quiet hours begin. Lights dimmed or off, no more movement. The cell is sparse. Bed, toilet, sink, maybe a small shelf. Sleep may be difficult. Noise, thoughts, claustrophobia. Todd might struggle with the contrast from his past life. Julie perhaps finding resilience, using breathing, prayer, or habituation to find rest. Weekends and special occasions. On weekends, there may be slightly different schedules, possibly more recreation, more visiting hours, perhaps small celebrations if it's a birthday or holiday. Special privileges, religious services, concerts, or special events might intermittently break the routine. Todd could leverage such occasions to reconnect with supporters. Julie might prepare for these events mentally, wanting to present best self.